Hey, welcome to How Do I Know You with your hosts Mark and Dwayne.
What up?
And today's topic is
I didn't think we were going to talk about Cardi B for a while on this podcast, but we're bringing her back because some more Cardi B shit has happened.
she's entertaining.
She's entertaining, man. She's doing her job. She's very entertaining, but sometimes for the wrong reasons, and today is a wrong reason. Join the Navy. I'm trying to stick to the whole Simpsons reference every episode. Ivan at Neon.
The Gime. Sorry, that was brought up the other day. Oh, the Gime.
I don't think I've seen that episode. Tell us that.
The gym one where he goes to the gym. And he's like, what's the Gime? And they take him to the gym. And he's like, oh, the Gime.
Is this before the movie or after the movie?
No, this is way before the movie. This is when he gets trained by, what's his name? Bane? Or...
Rainier Wolfcastle?
Yeah, Rainier Wolfcastle. Yeah, his real name.
Shit, I gotta see. I'm pretty sure if I see, I'm like, oh, that one. Yeah. But damn
it's an old one. But hey, it's 32 seasons. You know, it's easy to forget a scene or two.
Hey, if you were like us and you kind of took that little pause, well, me at least, I don't know about us, but I took that pause after the fucking movie because I was scared it was gonna be shitty, and it was kind of shitty. People don't want to admit it. It was shitty after the movie. Then it came back nicely, and now it's kind of got to that little, what's the word when like you're in a plane and you level off, and then it's like.
It's leveling off.
Okay, whatever. It leveled off back to its normal fucking...
And if you're like me, you didn't have cable, even after the movie came out, you still watched it every day on Fox at 6 and 7:30.
Yep. The days. All right, but back to the real topic. So Cardi B, I guess, I don't know. I don't even know if this was like... Would this be like a cancel culture thing? Or somehow, some way, Cardi B, a old IG Live... Actually, no, it couldn't be IG Live, because was there IG Live back in 2016?
I'm pretty sure it just probably wasn't like how it is today.
Okay, so let's just, whatever. So pretty much, I don't know if it was Snapchat or fucking IG Live. Let's just say IG Live, because they own Snapchat anyway, so fuck it. Do they own Snapchat?
No, they don't. That's like their main competitor.
But
they basically stole everything from Snapchat.
But they're not even like a competitor anymore.
Well, not anymore because Instagram stole everything.
Yeah, and just took it over.
Improved it a little bit. And that's it.
But I'm like, someone owns Snapchat. Is it Facebook?
I think so because they have the same filters and shit.
Okay. Yeah, that's bad. No one uses Snapchat.
I mean, everything's becoming a monopoly anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
If you're still using like Snapchat and it's not for like sexual related things, what's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Why are you still using that?
Let us know.
But comment below. Someone's like, get to the fucking topic, man.
When we're ready.
All right.
Okay.
Giving you guys content here.
We have to stretch this out.
We're gonna stretch it out.
We weren't prepared.
Not at all. We never do fucking pre-production. Who cares?
Nope.
All right. Just turn the camera on.
I didn't even know the topic until like 5 minutes ago.
That's what we do, man. And we give you guys an hour every week like that.
We're basically freestyling a podcast.
Shit. Who can do that, huh? Fucking Jordan Peele, huh?
Yeah, probably him.
Huh?
Probably Keegan Michael.
All right, man. Hey.
Them,
hey.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
not them.
sure.
Okay.
Bad
hey,
examples,
but us get it. We can. Yeah.
We're basically on their level.
Here's the ending of us. You guys ready? Here's the ending. They're still black. The ending. Nothing changed.
I know. It was just shock ending for me, and I was like, whoa.
The white people didn't survive.
He took a risk. Jordan Peele took a risk.
They're still black.
Wow.
Shout out to Lupita, though. I want to beat.
Oh, my God.
All right, but she's going to be like, what the fuck? I hope she
don't know what it was about this particular movie, because I've seen other movies, and I was like, cool.
Nah, I wanted to beat in Black Panther, too.
Really?
Yeah. I wanted to beat. It was like, I think there was one scene when she was like walking up to that nigga. He hadn't seen her in a while. I was like, yeah, I want to beat.
Solid beating.
All right. Okay. Sorry. But today's topic is, so a old IG Live video resurfaced of Cardi B pretty much talking about how she used to, back during her days as a stripper, exotic dancer, whatever the fuck you want to call it. She used to basically go back to sleep with men, but she would drug them, old Bill Cosby style. Hi, Bill. She would drug them, have sex with them, and then while they're knocked out, unconscious or whatever, she would fucking rob them and then leave, right? So there's also another video that to me was way more disturbing because I was like, what the fuck? But she also talked about there was a video that resurfaced. This was way more recent. It was her talking about how to get back at like niggas who cheat, and she was like, all you got to do is just. It was like the same
So
concept.
what you do is you have babies with them. You marry them. You kind of like let them go away for a little while to do their thing, and then get back with them immediately after.
You get even bigger. You double up your money.
Yeah. So
Offset.
That's what you do.
No. No, but she talked about how to get back at a nigga who cheats. She was like, she pretty much used to get niggas all pilled up and like high and everything, and then she would like talk about having threesomes or whatever. They would have a threesome, but because the dude was high out of his fucking mind, she would fucking find a tranny, and then have a tranny sucking on his dick and fucking him and everything like that, and then when he wakes up the next day, pretty much tell him like, yeah, nigga, you was fucking a nigga. And I was like, that's not even funny. Like,
She could just say that. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to happen.
I mean, dear, why? Why would you like? And I'm like, that's your dude too. So, where's the getting back at this? Now you're with the dude who's kind of gay, right? Right? Am I wrong?
I guess technically.
Technically,
Wait,
right?
I mean, is it gay if you didn't know it was happening? Like it was happening to you?
Well, see, it wouldn't be gay if you didn't know it was happening. But then, is it gay if she knows it's happening?
Well, she can't dictate how gay you are.
Well, she can't because she basically saying like, "Ha ha, you."
Well, you can't make someone gay.
Well, I'm
Like
not.
if
well,
someone
clearly
drug,
you
if
can't.
someone drug, like if I drugged you up and had a tranny suck you off,
Yeah.
are you gay now?
Well, no, but she was saying the whole point of it is to embarrass him because he got sucked off by a dude.
Well, yeah, I get the embarrassing part. Like he probably could feel like he's gay or like he could be made fun of. He could be called gay by his friends and everything, but
Right.
it doesn't make you gay.
Right, but who cares about? Of course, it doesn't make you gay. But niggas on Instagram,
But the
you're
perception, I
fucking,
guess the perception
you're
now.
a fucking fruit, all right?
Your reputation is
It's
now
ruined.
you're a little gay.
And she probably recorded it. Probably had that nigga's dick. Wow. Anyway, that's more disturbing than the first thing.
This whole step, this whole weird the levels of
the levels
gayness.
of Cardi's evilness. But okay, so let's break it down. Let's talk about it.
Wait, so she would drug him and still have sex with him?
That's the part in gay.
That's weird.
That's
This is
the part
like
I
you
didn't fucking
could have
get.
just not.
I'm like, you could have waited till he fell asleep. Like,
Yeah, like
what the fuck or whatever. Like, and then okay, so in my mind, right, I was like, okay, she's just saying this, but she didn't really have sex with him. But
Yeah.
now apparently, which I'll get to, there's been an accuser, not even a fucking accuser. There's been like one of her victims have finally come forward or whatever, and he told like this story, which I have saved, so I'm gonna fucking share it with y'all if y'all haven't seen it yet. But by the time you guys see it, you're probably like, oh, we read this shit or whatever. But pretty much, his story sounds like that they still had sex. So I didn't get that part because we're gonna break that down. So let's break it down now.
okay.
Should like, because I'm trying not to like make a joke right now. I'm trying to be serious. Clearly, no, fuck it. No, I'm throw it out there. Throw it out there for y'all. What part of this situation, if any, is wrong? That's the question. What part of Cardi B drugging, sleeping, and robbing men is the worst part?
Probably the robbing part.
Why do you say robbing?
Because at the end, like, okay, let's say they got drugged, they got slept with. I'm pretty sure they're into drugs already, so who cares? They got sex, so who cares? But you were not expecting to get robbed or like your money taken that day. Like it would have been a great time up until that third step
Right.
of you waking up and like, oh shit, my money's gone or whatever's gone.
Me personally, I agree with the robbing would be the worst part, right? But since we have to keep things in today's society, the worst part technically should be the sex part. Because at that point, it's not consensual. Which is, if we're going to keep it a buck and keep it a G and keep everything how we've been keeping it and keep this whole Me Too movement going, right? All this shit and this whole sexual assaults are wrong and everything. Technically, this person or these people at the time did not give consent to these acts, right? They were in the process of hanging out, doing whatever, but they didn't technically give consent at all, right?
Well, legally, and I learned this like in high school, so I don't know if it's changed since then, but legally, women can't rape because they can't like penetrate
I feel
the
like
person. This is between like two adults, though.
I feel like that is so like I'm not denying what you're saying or whatever, but I feel like that has to be like just wrong. Like I just don't see how.
But basically, like the way they get away with that is if you get a hard on, a boner, I don't know any other terms for it. That's consent right there. Like you're consenting by getting aroused.
But see, then isn't because like the teachers and shit that have sex with underage kids.
No, that's what I'm saying. Between two adults, that like they can't. But like when it's involving a minor, then it's classified as statutory rape, which is a whole different thing. Which is having sex with like technically it's consenting, but they're a minor, so they don't have the same like I guess wherewithal like in their brain or whatever, because they're minors or whatever. Even though, come on. No 16-year-old's going to be like, no, not having sex with a hot teacher.
There's no way. There's no way that is like a real thing. If that's a real thing, that's the stupidest thing ever. Because I'm like, how is it not still rape? Because there was just a story about some lady fucking going into some dude's house with a machete. And he woke up and she like fucking, threatened him with the machete and then fucking had sex with him. Like, what? Like like
unless it's like one of those old school laws. It was made back when like women were only cooks and that's all they did. Like they just were housewives and stuff like that. They were seen as like someone a person with no power. Like how can this woman beat up this man? Like impossible. It doesn't happen.
Right.
Ever. Men are too strong and we're the best and blah blah blah. So with that mindset, like it wouldn't even be a thought for women to rape a man. It would have been like, what? Like how you're thinking about it now? That's how they thought about like, no, it's impossible. Like it can't happen. So why even make it a law?
Let me tell you something, ladies. Y'all be raping us, all right? I've been sexually assaulted by women. Okay? Like I've been sexually assaulted.
All I did was cry in the corner.
All right. Now, of course, I'm saying I was sexually assaulted, but also, I mean, to be keeping it G, I didn't mind it. Fuck. But under fucking classification of sexual assault, I was sexually assaulted. All right, I've had girls grab my ass. I've had girls grab my dick. Like there was no consent to this and everything like that or whatever. I've had girls fucking try to kiss me and shit like that. There was no consent to this or anything like that. So technically, this is all sexual assault, right? Under the fucking the rules of sexual assault, it's sexual assault.
To be fair, you are a tease.
Look
how you look. Like
the
you're
everyone.
teasing everyone. You're teasing
know
everyone
that.
with that body.
Mark,
like, why do you even work out? Like, why are you working out if you don't want me to grab it? Is the thing.
Oh my God, Mark. The audience doesn't know that. Anyway,
I'm just saying, quit wearing your tank tops around
ladies,
the house and you won't get grabbed.
Ladies. Nah, but like I'm just, we gotta keep it like a buck with this situation because right now it's like people are kind of overlooking the main point of this. Like because this is the whole point of this is why like male like rape it gets laughed at. Like and to be honest about it because this shit right here. So the joke part of it is like what did you expect? Right? Cuz technically not even technically, nigga, you was buying pussy.
Yeah.
Right? So that's already a joke in itself. Like, you was buying pussy. Which, here's a question. Would you buy pussy? That should be a hot take. That's going to be today. Yeah, today's hot take. When this shit comes out, just backtrack a couple days, you'll find it. Or whatever. Like, are you cool buying pussy?
Hell no.
Like, not even, okay, think about it. Think about it now. Think about it.
Okay.
I'm not saying, like, buying, like, some bitch, like, I don't even know. You remember that chick from Trader Joe's that you thought was hot or whatever?
Yeah.
Now, what if she was like, you could fuck me for like $100, right? I'm not saying that type of shit because she's a regular girl. You can get that whenever.
Right.
I'm talking about Like, if it just so happened you ran into like your favorite porn star, and she was like, "Even $300, I'll suck your dick." Are you gonna contemplate it?
Maybe for like a second, but I still wouldn't. Just because I'm not rich like that, and then also because it's just I'm gonna exclude you from this because you only had one girlfriend.
Right.
But I've had
Faithful black men.
ew. I've had like a one night stand where it was just like you could tell like we both weren't into it. Like it was just like we might as well kind of thing, and it was just like And when you're paying for it, it's basically that one person doesn't give a shit. It's just like hurry up, do your business, and then bounce. Not enjoyable at all. Like you still get your nut off, but it's you might as well have just jacked off at that point. Like, and it's free.
So
it's just not enjoyable at all.
So you have sex, like no, fuck that. You get aroused also by the emotional connection of it.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're a bitch.
Thanks, man.
Guys, comment right now. However, whatever time this is.
Hashtag Mark's a bitch.
Mark's a bitch. No,
I'm trending.
Oh my God, Mark's a bitch. No one gets the hashtag. Who the fuck is this Mark dude? Okay, so I wouldn't buy pussy just because that's nothing even to do with the fucking money. It's just because I'm like, in my mind, I can fuck you without paying. I don't care. All right, until proven otherwise, I can fuck you without paying.
Are we taking out like buying dinner and like gifts? And
See,
stuff?
if we get to that level of thought, technically all this shit is prostitution. Technically, all right. If we want to keep it a buck, first of all, we're gonna get real misogynistic on this podcast.
If you want references for any of this, go to the South Park episode where Butters becomes a pimp.
Like, man, nah, fuck that. Use your life, all right? Use your actual life. If you're a man out there, if you at every date you went on, every meal you bought, every fucking little cute thing you did that you had to spend a little couple bucks on or whatever, technically, all right, you're paying to have sex with this person. The only thing is, the payment also is their time for you to build a fucking emotional connection. That's the only difference, right? When you pay a hooker or a prostitute, you're taking the emotional part out of it. You don't give a fuck about that. You just want some pussy, right? So, by definition, technically, all of it's prostitution. Like,
it is the world's oldest profession,
and it's a profession I'm cool with. Honestly,
it should be legal.
Like, I would have. Well, actually, I know some girls that fuck some niggas for. I ain't gonna put them on escorts. I ain't gonna put them on blast, but no. But I'm saying like, but it wasn't like a known thing. It was just like they fuck some niggas for a couple hundred. They fuck some niggas for like some meals. Like, to them, it was like they were okay with the dude. He looked good. They didn't give a fuck. It was some dick, and they got some money on the side. You know what I mean? I know bitches who fuck niggas for shoes. So I mean, like, for me personally, I don't feel like it's a bad thing.
I don't know at all.
But if we're going under the scope of today's world, all right?
By the law, I'm guessing.
By the law, it's wrong. So, to bring it all the way back forward, her, in this situation, should be considered a rapist. She should be. Because...
By a common sense standpoint, but not a legal standpoint.
But see, that's the thing. There's no even precedent for this shit for women.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, and that's what... So, I don't even want to put legal into it because technically... Not even technically. No, has there been a man who's like, a girl raped me?
I'm sure there has, but you can't go nowhere with it. Like, you can't take it to court. The person can't get arrested because they haven't broken any laws.
It's just, I don't know.
You can't. Like legally, they have no right to hold you.
But this shit is going to be... I think it's going to start it. It's going to start it's going to be the...
I doubt it just because...
The fucking switch right here.
I doubt it just because people forget these little stories really quick until like the next big thing happens. And how long does... First of all, you have to get like a senator or whoever to introduce that bill. And then it has to go through Senate, all the shit. And then it becomes a law, right? And really, that could only happen state by state, because it's not going to happen at a federal level anytime soon. Federal level means it'll go across like all 50
Right.
with like, no problem. So you're going to have all those people on an issue no one really cares about, on an issue where probably, let's say 50% of America, which is half is women, right? They're not going to vote for it because that's just being like, we're going to tie our own hands.
But see,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. If you want to if we're in today's society, everything's PC and everything's all fucking inclusive and shit, or at least they want it to be all inclusive or whatever, you can't be a girl and not vote for this.
Well, that's not going to happen, though, because people like to claim PC and all that stuff when it benefits them, when it's convenient for them. But when it's on the other foot, they'll be like, nah, fuck that. And we saw it with the Me Too. We saw it with the person that was ahead of it. I forgot her name, but like she was calling Harvey Weinstein a rapist, a monster, which he is. But at the same time, like she was fucking the 17-year-old that she met when he was like 7. It's like, yeah, like fuck that dude. Don't look at me.
Fuck
though.
you too.
Don't look at me.
Please.
What I'm doing. So, so I just doubt it. It would be a pointless fight when there's, I would say, like other real problems to deal with.
Well, see, now I'm about to get into a fucking slippery slope, so I'm not even gonna
go down that slope, man. Slip all the way down that slope.
Because, like, honestly, this wasn't an issue until celebrities brought it up. So, what you just said, like, there's bigger problems. Yeah, like, but celebrities made this situation a problem when before regular girls were talking about the show all the time and no one gave a fuck. If we're being honest here, let's keep it a buck. It wasn't until...
So you're saying when a non-celebrity person was like, I was a victim of rape, it stayed right there, like in that little circle
in that bubble. So of course they still, obviously, I'm not saying like rapists and shit were overlooked back before this. I'm not saying that at all, because they're still pieces of shit. They've always been pieces of shit, and they always get the book thrown at them the hardest. And if you know anything about prison or have niggas who've been to jail or whatever, they get it the worst in that motherfucker. They get it the worst. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm saying that before this type of shit, there was no movement for this type of shit.
It wasn't trending.
It wasn't trendy or anything like that. It wasn't until Weinstein and Cosby got called out for their shit, and then these celebrities started to come out with their, quote unquote, gut-wrenching and so brave accounts. Some of them, yes. Some of them were like, okay. Yeah. Look, if we're going back to the whole, like NDA conversation we had on a couple other podcasts, whatever podcast that was. Yeah. This again, like I said, this is gonna be really misogynistic, but guys, just hear us out before you like try to cancel us or anything like that. Which is you canceling us, we ain't nobody anyway, so that'd be crazy. But this would be if your sister was here. If we're keeping it a buck, could you really double back and be like, he made me do this and that, if you got what you wanted in the end? Because then at that point, did he make you do something, or wasn't it just a transaction that happened?
A deal.
It was because a lot of these girls,
deal.
Yeah, a lot of these girls basically had deals. That's what happened. And they got exactly what he told them that they were going to get.
If you're taking all the emotion out of it and just seeing it on paper, like this person agrees to this, if this person agrees to that,
right,
and the deal is made, and whatever, every party gets what they want, then no, it's like it's not wrong, really. It's wrong if, is it wrong just to even bring up the scenario? If the dude was like, hey, if you have sex with me, you get this. So is it wrong off the jump? Because if it's wrong off the jump, then everything's wrong, right?
The conversation isn't wrong. What's wrong is the whole ability for the conversation to be brought up. So what's wrong is because of all the shit that's happened, which should have been the whole point, which I think still is, I hope at least. No, it's not. Fuck it, it's not. Let's be honest. But the whole point of the Me Too movement was they were trying to break the whole stigma of that shit, because it was niggas who were in power, who had money, thinking that if they just said this or paid you, that means that you have to fuck them, whatever, right?
Right.
That was the whole point of it. And of course, when you said no, then shit like the Weinstein shit would happen, which would niggas being weirdos, and then niggas try like raping girls and everything like that. And then when they came forward, those same men used their power and influence to basically get out of it and be like, this person's a liar, right? The reason why I'm not trying to shoot Weinstein any bail because he's a piece of shit, but if we're gonna be fair, there were a lot of situations with a lot of his stories that those girls got. Like, those were agreements. If we're gonna keep it a buck, those were agreements. And then what happened was they turned sour once, like, shit started to slow up for whoever the fucking person was. So if this person's fucking this, person or whatever, if Weinstein's fucking whoever, they get this role, cool. Then Weinstein's still fucking them, they get another role, cool. It wasn't until Weinstein starts fucking another girl, they don't get a certain role, their shit starts to slow up. And then, of course, they started to use the whole thing of like, oh, no, it's him. He's blackballing me because I didn't want to do it anymore or anything like that. And to me, I'm like, if you didn't bring it up the first couple of times, why'd you wait until everything slowed down? Because then at that point, you could easily turn around and be like, it's him. But is it really him, or is it just because you're not popping no more? So what's the point? Like, that's why his situation was so, like, fucking weird, because there were stories of him being nasty, which is, like, because he tried that shit with Lupita. He tried that shit with a couple other girls just like that. Some whole, like, oh, come up to my hotel, and this nigga's already naked. And then our fucking, like, he tried to pin you down. Like, get the fuck off me. What the fuck you doing and shit like that? That's use a nasty nigga. All right? Fuck that. Then there's situations like the chick who started the Me Too movement when she was like, oh, he raped me. He pinned me down and then gave me oral sex, and I did not consent to it. But then they became a couple. And then they were going out for, like, a long period of time. And then, like, so it's like, at that point, is it... How, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's where it gets dicey.
That's where everything gets dicey. Fucking if it was
tricky. In the scenario that I brought up, where like if the dude just brings it up as like a hey, let's make a deal. If it's wrong, that's wrong off the jump. So everything preceding that is wrong. But if you do that and then go through with it and don't say anything, then yeah, it's like yeah, it's just seen as you just have less to stand on, less and less and less to stand on, to where like people don't believe you because like you got what you wanted, and like you said, it just slowed up once you were like, no, I'm done with this.
Right.
So it was like you're breaking the deal.
So here's where I want to go from that, because you're saying, is it wrong to just bring it up? To me, I would say no, because if that's the case, then all of us are wrong, because I'm quite sure at one point or another, you've asked a girl, your significant other, before she was like your significant other like that or whatever. You've asked a girl, or you've solicited somehow in being like I want to have sex with you, type shit, right? It doesn't have to be flat out like I want to have sex with you, but like some way, somehow, it's gotten to that point.
Right, but it wasn't a deal. It wasn't like, hey, sleep with me and I'll get you this job, or if you don't, then you don't get this job.
Right, but then going back to the whole movement, they were saying that I mean women, they didn't want to feel pressured to do these things. That was a lot of the rhetoric when it first started. The whole big thing about being pressured or feeling like, oh, if you take me out here, that doesn't mean I have to sleep with you. If you buy me this, that doesn't mean I have to sleep with you. If I talk to you from this amount of time, that does not mean we're leaving together.
Right, and simply by a male asking, it doesn't. It's not like there's no pressure there. It's just a question. Okay, hold on. He has a point.
Now, you said there's nothing wrong with asking, right? So, going back to what you said...
I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking in the right context. Like,
right,
if you're feeling each other, it's just... I don't want to go up to, like, just some person right down the street, like, hey, you want to have sex? Then it's like...
But see, no.
It's
but
like,
see,
whoa.
But see, what's wrong with that?
That's crazy, man.
Oh, but it's crazy because it's like, it's random, but it's not crazy as in it's, like, fucking immoral or rapey. Like, you know what I mean? Because...
Depending on the tone. Because, your intentions is... hold on, let me start this.
Do we have to restart?
No, we're good. Right. The intention is... it doesn't matter. Like, I could say it... Just use me as an example. I could say it in the most monotone voice. Like, hey, would you like to... And I'll even use technical. Like, would you like to have intercourse? I could say it like that tone and everything. But if the person that I'm asking sees it as like some aggressive, like I'm just coming at her like out of nowhere, because I am out of nowhere, and it's like scary to her and she's threatened, that's all that matters. Their perception of the situation.
Okay, so you're saying that the person's perception pretty much draws out what is actually going on and not your intention, right?
Yeah.
So then, if going back to Cardi, if these men perceive that they were raped, then what would happen in this situation? Because, which is why it's funny.
Yeah, it's just
funny because now the internet is like they even started this whole hashtag of like surviving Cardi, which is hilarious. Like, but it shouldn't be funny, like, because technically it's a valid question.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same way it's funny as in, like, when people laugh at when they see a dude getting
Beat up by his girl.
beat up by his girl. Yeah, like, everyone just laughs on the street. Like, when it's happening in public, they just laugh. But if it's the other way around, gasp.
Yeah.
Call the cops. Get
Stop
that guy
this
off
guy.
of it. Yeah.
And everything. And it's just, I feel like with this happening, it's about to bring up a real big conversation because she's big enough now. If this was a couple years ago, it wouldn't have mattered. Because it didn't matter because she said it. No one give a fuck. Everyone was like, huh? Yeah, that's what they get. Now she's big enough where it's going to spark up a conversation because now there's a lot of women who follow Cardi B and they like her rhetoric and everything like that. There's a lot of rappers that are coming out, female rappers that are like Cardi B, who they spit that same shit. Like there's a group called the City Girls. All they talk about is fucking niggas, fucking over niggas, robbing niggas, like doing shit to like get over on niggas, right? And it's like, of course, for women, it's like, yeah, fuck that nigga, yeah, fucking ass queen, all that shit. But for us, it's like, wait a minute. Because literally, some of those songs, they're like, it's shit like that. You know, like, you know, fucking suck his dick, he fall asleep, I robbed this nigga, or whatever, right? So I'm like, if that was us, you know, if you back up to like a couple years ago, Rick Ross got killed for his fucking he had that line in the whole Rocco had that big song fucking it was called You Don't Even Know It, right? And like the fucking hook was like, it's $1,000, it's like, no, it's like $100,000 car, you don't even know it. Like that, he would do that, right? Mm-hmm. So Rick Ross, when he came on for his verse, he used that same cadence and he was like, I put a Molly up in her drink. She didn't even know it.
Something. Say that?
But see, like
that's so fucking weird.
But right, like the bar was wild, right?
Yeah.
But of course, he got like killed for this shit, right? So he had to backtrack off all of that, right? But then, of course, if we're keeping it a buck, like freedom of speech, you really can't, you know, you can't censor that type of shit. But of course, he's black, so it's gonna happen.
Yeah. The way I see all this stuff is like, I forget the exact saying, but the son will pay for the sins of the father, right? So basically, I see it as like, even if you're like us, where it's just like you don't do that shit at all to women, like you treat them pretty well, actually, and respectively. It doesn't matter.
Love
because
you, queens.
It doesn't matter because our male ancestors throughout the ages have just dominated and like just done horrible fucking shit without any repercussions, or very few compared to like what's actually been done. So it's like, it's just, this generation is paying the price for all that shit. Same, I want to say the same thing for like white people. Mm-hmm. Man, your ancestors did some fucked up shit, and you may be a good one, but you are paying for all their fucked upness now. It's the same thing, I think.
So let's get to Cardi's first accuser coming forward with his story of this shit. So basically, the whole Surviving Cardi hashtag took storm, and there's a lot of jokes and memes and shit coming out. But then apparently, someone has come forward with their account of dealing with the stripper Cardi. And first of all, like, it's gonna sound funny because like it'll sound funny. But so apparently, there's a man named Kevin Smith Don't know if that's a real name. Could be his real name. But there's a man named Kevin Smith, and this is via an Instagram post. There's a man named Kevin Smith who has come forward with an account of a night with Cardi B. So here's his account of the whole situation. I was in New York about 5 years ago training, and my trainer suggested we go to a strip club. Normally, I would have turned him down. But this time, I decided to go, so boom. Why would you start a rape story with, all right, look, hey, that's how it happened, right?
First of all, I was getting a workout
First of all, right?
I normally don't go to strip clubs, but...
First of all, hey, nigga, listen. Okay, listen, hold up. All right, so he says, so boom. We go to the strip club, and I meet Cardi. I'm feeling her and convinced her to come back to the room. First of all, nigga, if you're trying to tell like a story about you getting raped, you can't say convinced her. You can't say that, all right?
Also, you don't convince strippers of anything. See, they play you from the get-go.
This is where we're going to lose in this whole, like, trying to get girls convicted of rape because of shit. Because niggas can't let their egos just be like, no, she did it to me. Yeah. She was like, let's go back to your room. Like, she convinced me. I didn't even like this shit.
For anyone that thinks they convince strippers of anything, you're fucking idiots. God.
You're an idiot. But let's keep going. Feeling her convinced, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm feeling her and convinced her to come back to the room with me to have a drink. I had been drinking already, so I had to piss. I slid to the bathroom and came back and finished off my drink. Last thing I remembered was she was twerking on me. Music blasting, and that was it. The next morning, I saw a used condom on the floor, and then I noticed all the cash I had, which was about $850, my Louis Vuitton belt, and my iPod Touch was missing. This thing had an iPod Touch?
It's back
5 years ago?
Yeah.
Fucking loser. Nigga, we had that shit in 2009, 2008. We had them shits.
iPod Touches?
Yeah.
Maybe he was just listening to music. I don't know.
Use your phone.
Maybe it was a 3G enabled one.
I don't believe you now. No, he's going. You fucking
iPod
loser.
Touch, clearly a liar.
Ew, why would you still have that?
He deserved it.
He asked for that. So Louis Vuitton belt and iPod Touch was missing. I tried calling her several times, but I soon realized she gave me a Google Voice number. I know she did it, but I couldn't prove it, so I never went to file charges. Mainly because I did not want my fiance at the time to know what had happened. Oh my God. So I took my L. I can't lie, it was certainly traumatizing, and as a man, you never want to admit you were taken advantage of. No man wants to say #MeToo.
What? Stop speaking for every man, first of all.
I was raped!
It's use condom on the floor. So right there, I think she didn't have sex with them, because all you got to do is what, just like make it look like it was used, and that's it. Because you could just plant the evidence and whatever. Because I think that's him saying like, oh, at least I got some, even though I was robbed. Like that's him kind of trying to save face.
Okay, let's back up. If Cardi B is making it look like she had sex with niggas who aren't gonna remember her, then Cardi B's a fucking genius. Why the fuck? Like, you should... Oh, my God. Your bars are terrible. Like, if you're this smart, what the fuck? Like, because that's genius level shit if you think about it. Because it's like, you don't have to do that. You don't. Like, the adding the whole part that they had sex, or she's like, okay, let me put some lotion in this condom or some shit like that.
Yeah, because I'm sure he didn't check if it was actual semen.
Who the fuck knows, right? Let me put some...
This is mine. Yep, this is mine. We've all done it,
right?
They
put some lotion in his condom, which makes him think he got some pussy, so he won't be mad because I fucked him. But then he's gonna be mad because the belt and shit is gone. But hey, pussy or your shit bag?
Yeah,
you decide.
It just reminds me of like the stories I've heard like on the radio and shit of dudes getting robbed by prostitutes because they left their wallet on like the nightstand or something. Which, like, then it goes into, like, this whole story, like, everyone knows you're supposed to put it, like, in the water tank of the toilet, which I don't really get that, because I've never had to do that, or
Why
whatever.
Would you put... Who the fuck is...
Like, in a plastic bag or something, you put it in there so, like, the prostitutes can't find it. I guess it works, because it's a well-known method of keeping your shit safe.
All right, time out. Hold on. First of all, what are you reading?
I'm not reading anything. I don't read. How dare you? All right, I'm not reading
these things.
The radio, people.
I put my wallet in the fucking in the toilet bowl. So once I bust a nut and go to sleep, bitch ain't gonna take nothing.
Man, they were talking about it like
It was
it
really
just
a nigga who came up with that stupid ass idea. I'm gonna put that shit. Oh, what can I put?
Process don't look in the water tanks.
Where can I hide it? The toilet bowl. That's all I'm gonna do.
How about don't fucking fall asleep, idiot?
Fucking don't. Oh my god.
Do your business and walk out.
Just he could easily put like the wallet in the whip. Just take the money he's gonna pay the bitch with or whatever, right? And then that's it. Like, why would? Whatever. All right.
I don't know. It was yeah. It stuck with me because I was like, how is this a well-known thing?
Yeah.
Like this, people were comfortable enough with other people to tell, like, yeah, I paid someone, and this is what I did to combat that problem.
Dear Lord,
everyone's super southern.
We're never gonna get this whole men rape thing approved, are we? Nope. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. It's not.
But I'm trying. All right, gotta fucking do this for the podcast. God, man.
Because first you got to convince men that have been raped by other men to come out and speak. Once that's been established.
But that's already been happening though, because men are now comfortable coming out.
Still very little though.
But it's very little, but it's enough to where it's highlighted. Because you have people like Terry Crews who are being way too fucking extra. Because nigga, that's not like, all right, man, I get it, but also it's like you're huge. You could have been like, if you don't move, like whatever.
Is it worth your career to punch somebody though? Is it worth like potentially losing out on millions and millions just to be like I was grabbed and I could have punched this person, but you're losing out on millions and millions of dollars?
Here's the thing: wasn't the dude who did it? Wasn't he his agent or manager?
No, it was like some other. It was agent related, I think, but it wasn't his agent. I think.
I don't know.
Either way, like when that shit happens, and like it happens with someone that has like. Potentially has power over you. No matter what everyone says, like I would have punched him, I would have done this, I would have done that. You wouldn't have, because once like that hand is on you, your mind is going through from like what the fuck is happening to like, oh shit, what's gonna happen if I do something? What's gonna happen if I retaliate right now? What am I gonna lose? You're thinking about everything that you could lose.
Look, I'm only speaking for myself in this situation. I don't know how he. Well, I know how he reacted. He didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But I can only speak for myself. That would not be a good situation if that was another dude who tried that with me. That would not be a good situation. If I'm in the same boat as him, right? So if I'm this whatever, right? Whatever, that would not be a fucking good situation. Because I'm probably gonna do what I would do, which would be very bad, right? So, my only thing is, going off that same logic, what is worth you, like a person stepping out then? Because if you being violated isn't worth, like, you, and it wasn't like, it wasn't like fucking, oh, he did it to everyone. No, he did it to you. And you chose to not do anything. So you chose to be a coward at that point. So that's on you. That has nothing to do. Yes, he was wrong, shouldn't have done it, but you had every right to stop him. You chose your career over that. So at that point, isn't everything you say after that fucking like null and void? Isn't all invalid?
Isn't part of the fear though coming out to like you won't be believed? That look at me and look at him. Who are they gonna believe?
If we're gonna use that logic, then wouldn't you get beat his ass anyway? If you have nothing to lose at that point, because basically,
no, you have everything to lose at that point.
All right, niggas act like Terry Crews was like, I don't see how, I just don't see how letting something like that happen and you being in his position, because it's not like.
Well, think about it. He before that happened, he was like well known as like a sex addict. Of like he was just fucking like anyone that would come around, right? Well, any woman, I'm guessing, that would come around.
Terry Crews?
Yeah, like it was known. Like he was just fucking all over the place, I guess.
Wasn't he married when this shit happened?
Like that matters.
This changes everything. But whatever.
So he had the reputation for that, right? So if someone does that to you and then you go ahead and claim like, oh, I was like assaulted, everyone's gonna look around like, but you fuck everything. Like what? Like how is that a big thing? Like why would you react that way when you're like doing all this other shit?
wouldn't it automatically like switch up when he says it was a dude?
No, it wouldn't, because like sexual addicts, people that are fucking around, like it's kind of, I guess, assumed that you just get into crazier and crazier situations where one woman doesn't satisfy you anymore, or two women doesn't satisfy you anymore, and you go try all this crazy shit.
See, this is why I'm not down with this whole Hollywood weirdo shit. Because shit just like this or whatever, right? I'm cool with just like podcasting and getting money.
It's like what if a prostitute was like, I was raped? Everyone's gonna be like, we gotta check the story. We can't just believe you right offhand.
Well, no, that should be every story. Every story you have to check the story.
Right, but on a prostitute, you're like, you probably didn't. You're probably just mad someone didn't pay you.
She could look. A prostitute can still go to the police.
They can. I'm just saying most likely. That. I'm just saying most likely. What's gonna be like? How are they gonna spin this? It doesn't matter what the facts are. It matters how everyone is gonna spin it based on your reputation.
However, well, for one, I don't really like.
Because I just don't believe the whole like, oh, I could see a situation and totally be unbiased to everything. Like, no, it's impossible. It's fucking impossible to be unbiased, because you've been told throughout your whole life that these people are this way and those people are that way, and anytime you see them, that's what it is.
What do you mean unbiased?
Unbiased, like you don't have an opinion, like you're totally indifferent. Like, so if I see, like, if someone brings up a prostitute, you automatically start thinking about all the shit you've heard about prostitute, regardless of what the person, like, who the person actually is. Okay. So let's say it's like, hey, here's my friend, she's a prostitute.
Okay.
You, right then and there, without knowing anything about her, you've already created a story in your head, like who this person is, what this person does. Okay. How her life is. Okay. So right then and there, I tell you the story, oh, she was raped. All those, like, you were like, like, really? Were you? Like, really? Like, did it really happen that way? Like, you start questioning. Other than if someone with, like, a good reputation, like someone that was just a good person, like, her whole life, and that's how you know her, she goes, like, I was raped. You don't even question that shit. You automatically believe it.
No, I'm going to question everybody on that.
Well, eventually you, like, learn shit, but off the jump, like, when it's said, you pretty much believe it. That's what I mean by being, like, no one can be unbiased, because you already have a story about this person in your head. Just, what do you call those, like, little unconscious thoughts or whatever that just come your way.
See, for me, I don't. This is again, I'm speaking for me personally. I don't like. I can have like preconceived notions about a person or whatever, but I also don't go into things being like, oh, because let's just say I don't want to use the word prostitute because that's really hard to fucking. That's like the rarest case ever. Let's go porn star. So if a porn star is like, I was raped or whatever, if I know her profession is to have sex, but she tells me she was raped, my first instinct is going to be like, were you raped? My instinct is going to be like, holy shit.
Like, what the fuck had to happen for you to claim?
No, not even that. My shit's like, holy shit. Why are you telling me this now? Like, what the fuck? Like, what? How come, like, what is going on? Like, because that's my instinct every time. My instinct is never to be like, I get it. I get why you don't tell the police thing. My thing is like, you should go tell somebody. What are you doing? Like, why are you scared? Scared of what? Who? How, what? Like, that's always been my instinct with that shit. And I'll admit it. All right, if that's a bad thing on my part, fine, whatever.
For people that don't know you, which is a lot of you out there, you, since I've known you my whole life, you don't really get scared. You don't have that fear in you. Like, it just doesn't happen for you. So I get why you don't get it, but for the layman, the fucking just average person, right? They get scared of shit like that. Like when let's say you get like a D or something in school, were you scared to go home and like let people know like that you had a D? No, right?
Because it'd be rare.
Because I'm smart. But like, let's say the average person, the person like they come home with a D, like they know they're getting in trouble, so they fucking hide that shit. They don't say nothing. They're just scared, so they're like quiet. They clam up, right? But later you find out like, well, if you would have just said something, like it would have been all like it would have like you could have fixed this. Right, but that's not everyone's first instinct.
But then
it's fear.
That goes back to my initial thing I was saying about Terry Crews. I'm like, is it a thing about the whole perception of a person, or is it because you didn't want to take that stance? I look at it that way. I don't put things on like a whole perception of shit type of status thing. I look at it as people make choices based off whatever the fuck they're gonna make the choice off of, right? So if you're a person who went through something like that and you chose not to speak up about it, to me, I'm speaking only for myself. To me, that was your decision. I don't want to look at this whole other shit because you could have like.
But don't variables matter?
When something happens to you,
don't variables matter? Like if let's say that person that didn't come out, the one you're like, you should have said something. Mm-hmm. Let's say she did, but she would have lost everything. Like she would have been a pariah. Like even though she got wronged, she would have lost everything.
Stop the celebrity shit. Just brings on a regular person. Shit.
No, yeah, a regular person. A regular person, like if they come out, like say, I don't know, oh, the chief of police raped me, and I'm just some random citizen. If you go to that battle without, let's say, no evidence, no nothing, you just straight out say it, how do you even see yourself winning that battle with the public of like trying to convince somebody?
Well, first, see that you're putting shit that's obviously insurmountable because you're saying there's no evidence or anything. I'm talking about
but
like
that's the fear that happens when someone gets raped, like all their power gets taken away.
Right, but the evidence is the rape. Like,
right, but how do you prove a rape?
They have rape kits and everything for that.
But do you really think like when someone's that like their power gets taken away and nothing but fear is left and you just feel like shit and you're just down on yourself and all you want to do is fucking like just go in a fucking hole and stay there? That person, you expect that person to like have the fucking mentality to be like, I'm gonna go tell and I'm gonna win this battle like this with evidence. I'm gonna go to the doctor and get the rape kit test done and everything. I just don't see it because mentally they're done. Like mentally they just want to die.
I understand what you're saying mentally.
Right.
My question is then at that point, what changes in between when it happened to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in Bill Cosby's case 20 some odd years later?
For that kind of shit, it's hard for when like that amount of time passes by. But I get it in the beginning if you don't say anything because you don't have support. It's the main, like even the mainstream is like, who gives a shit? That's how you feel anyways. So it's just like if you think you're gonna lose, then what's the point of bringing it up if it's just gonna cause more harm to me? Like it's sometimes like in their head they're probably like it's easier just to forget. It's easier just to, it's in the past. I'll try not to let it happen again to me, but that's it. See, that's the only winning scenario in their head.
That's why I feel for, I won't even say women. I feel for victims when it comes to this type of shit. Because I don't even think it's a whole thing. Like, I think people ran with that narrative because it was true in some regards. Like, with the Weinstein shit. Yeah, that's true. All right. Dude is, one of the fucking biggest producers. Or not, if not the biggest, right? So, of course, that fear of you being like, all right, this nigga did something to me. He can be like, fuck you, fuck everything. She's a liar. Not only is she a liar, she ain't getting no work out here. Mm-hmm. I understand that shit, right? The thing that sucks about these situations is I feel like we've taken people's, because we can't prove it, right? We've taken people's personal viewpoints of themselves, and then we ran with the narrative of like, oh, because it's like this fear, or it's this whole like they thought they weren't gonna win type thing. Because if I'm going, like I said, I'm speaking based solely off myself or whatever. I've never thought about that with myself, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter what the fuck the fucking situation is, right? And he knows me, right? So I've always ran with this whole thing of like, I'll lose, but I'm gonna lose my way, right? I'm cool with that. If I get in a fight tomorrow with some nigga and I was talking all this shit and I was like, and I fought him and I got my ass kicked, I got my ass kicked. That's just it. I'm not gonna talk all this shit and then just walk away or whatever, right? Yeah. The same, whatever happens to me, right? I have to have enough wherewithal to be like, all right, this can go bad. If it goes bad, then it was on me. Right. Fuck it, right?
Stories like that in Hollywood, or anytime you hear them, everyone has the same reaction, like, damn, that's crazy. Like, take Ice Cube when he left NWA and started his own shit. Everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, you're leaving one of the biggest rap groups and to start your own? Like, what do you think's gonna happen? Fucking blew up, he made it. That's like a success story, right? That's one of the rare, like, you do that shit and it succeeds. But most of the time, you fucking fail when you do that kind of stuff.
And that's where, like I said, I feel like we just we compounded it with like this other shit
Yeah.
that it's not that. I'm like, because if to me, I'm like, if you, this might be a sick way of looking at this shit, but if you can't, or if you don't have the courage or have, I won't say the courage because it is traumatizing, but I'm saying if at a point you're like, okay, something really bad happened to me and people need to know, which is why like this is why I am fucked up right now. This is why I can't communicate with certain people and things like that. If you can't express that in those moments, then I question, I'm like, then what brings you outside type of shit? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's a bad thing, but I'm like, what drives you to like, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I don't get it at that point. And I'm saying this from a perspective, I'm trying to understand it. I'm not trying to be like, it's your fault. I'm trying to be like, I want to know what gets to that point where it goes from like, I can't talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want anything involved with this shit to the point of, no, this all happened. He did it. I'm ready to speak and everything like that. Because I look at it like what happened that changed? Like what? Because I'm like, what needed to be like built within?
I think it's like this because I'm not gonna say I understand women that have gone through this, but I get like a tiny fraction of it,
right?
Because you've been around where I had my freaking breakdown and I was just completely like fucking rock bottom, depressed, can't do shit. And then when I was in that stage, it felt like what's the point of anything? Like what does it matter if I do this or that or whatever? Like for what? I'm gonna just stay here and just let fucking the world eat me.
Right.
You know, so when you're in that thing, then yeah, and for me, I had support around me, so I got out of it maybe quicker than the person next to me or whatever. But it takes time, and some people will never get out of that headspace. They're fucked for life, and they're gonna need help from other people, or people are just gonna forget about them, and then they're in the streets or something. It's just some people will just never get the help they need to get out of that headspace. So if you can't get out of the headspace, then you're never telling your story. You're never getting the courage. You're just stuck there.
And the reason why we're going in depth on this like topic with this topic is because to bring it back to the whole, like bringing it back to men, this is why I feel like this is going to eventually become something. Maybe not fucking next year or 2 years from now. But I think this is going to be one of the things that we're the precedent to make this something, because if we're going just solely off of male stupidity and male ego or whatever, they're going to tell these stories because they think the shit is like, they think there's a part of like that person who told this story that thinks this is awesome.
Well, yeah, he's getting attention. His name is now attached to Cardi, and she's one of the biggest people right now. So
right. That's the sick.
That's why he used language like, I convinced her.
Right.
Like, yo, I got Cardi B to come up to my place.
So, boom.
But then I got drugs in him. He like mumbles the part where he got fucked.
But when I woke up, there was nothing in that condom. So I
bet you there was no condom. I bet his stuff was just stolen.
Probably. I just don't see it why she would steal. Anyway, but like, I feel like men are going to start putting that out on the fort, like out in the world. Because they're going to look at it like, okay, look, this happened to me. This is crazy. Then people are going to be like, yo, you were raped. Like, clear as day. Like, you were raped. Like, freaking D.L. Hughley talks about how he had, like, some chick who was, like, I think he was, like, in fucking elementary or middle school or something like that. And he had some chick who was, like, in her 20s fucking him. And, like, everyone in his neighborhood knew. Everyone. And they were just like, yo, you's a real nigga and everything. Even him, to this day, he talks about it. And he was like, it was fine. He was like, only reason I stopped was because he was like, she got fucking annoying. He's like, that's the only reason. Like, there was nothing bad about that situation. Like, I knew what I was doing. She was getting his dick. It was what it was, right?
Right.
But of course, people tell him like, no, listen, you were raped. All right. Initially, you were raped. All right. What happened after that is what happened after that. But you were raped. And then he's like, no, I wasn't. I wasn't. And that kind of goes back to what I'm talking about with this situation. Eventually, because of shit like this, I feel like Cardi B isn't the only one. I feel like a lot of women do this, but because of you outlined, how it's looked at as like a sign of weakness if a man gets taken advantage of. It's looked at as like how like you're an idiot. It's looked at as like it's gonna be looked down upon, but because it's gonna be names like this, they're gonna start coming out. Because I'm telling you, especially in Hollywood, I know for a fact there's other celebrity chicks who have done some shit like this.
I knew someone in let's just say a long time. I'm gonna give it a time frame. A long time ago, we were drinking or something.
Yeah, that was me.
You don't drink. Silly.
Wasn't cute. Wasn't your booty hole.
Wish it was though.
Oh fuck.
Damn. Anyways, we were drinking and he got pretty drunk. He started telling me a whole bunch of stuff. He was just like, yeah, I was like fucking like when I was a kid, my babysitter used to like fuck me, like we used to fuck and everything like that. But he started like crying. He was just like, man, she was raping me. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and like I didn't know like that like I had a choice. Like I thought it was just like, you know, you're taught by whatever. It's like a man thing in school, but like no, like it was. And so like yeah, there's that side of D.L. Hughley where he's just like, no, I'm good. Like I knew what I was doing and blah blah blah. Cool. He might have had that mindset of like an adult, like as a kid, because you know everyone goes through some shit to like some people grow up faster than others.
Right.
This dude, I could have sworn he was just like growing up, but he was like at the time he was just like, man, like thinking back at it now, like I was raped, I was fucking taken advantage of by this older babysitter, and she did stuff to me.
So he was mentally like maybe not on the surface, but subconsciously he was fucked mentally from that shit.
I mean, it didn't seem like he was, but I like knowing him, I would have never thought like, oh, you're like this because something happened to you as a kid. I was like, oh, like this dude's tough. This dude's like he does crazy shit, but whatever. Right. It kind of leads into like maybe if this didn't happen, he wouldn't be this crazy. He wouldn't be doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
But I mean, then it's like it's one of those things you can never figure it out because you can't go back in time and be like, let's take that variable out and see what happens to this dude. So I think that does fuck up kids a little bit, especially little boys that don't have the mentality of a D.L. Hughley.
Right. So
where like you're dead emotionally, you may not realize it, but you're dead emotionally, leading you could do shit like rob people, steal from people, like kill people, you know? Because it's like that shit was taken out of me when I was a kid, and I didn't even realize it. Yeah.
So he has no innocence to anything.
Exactly. Yeah. So once your innocence taken away, like. You start that shit early before you realize like what's even going on.
So, I guess to bring this all together, last couple questions. Will this be even a conversation by this weekend? Fuck it.
No. Nope. Just simple as that. Nope.
Not even like no, because right now they're trying to cancel her, quote unquote.
It's not gonna happen.
But. I mean, she did, for her sake, she did respond, and the funny thing was at no point did she not admit to what she did. She pretty much said it was consensual. And I was like, I don't think getting robbed is consensual, but also I don't think... Here's the thing.
You agree to me robbing you?
That's why, because this ass is fat, and you wanted it, so whatever. Like, but the thing about it that...
Cardi B can steal my iPod Touch anytime she wants.
Yeah. And the thing about it... They was fucking like horrible teeth Cardi. Like they was fucking like not this Cardi. This Cardi is like if she came in right now and was like, nigga, shut up, take this, I'll be like,
wait, how bad are your teeth? I gotta look this up later.
Like, oh, the fucking snaggletooth Cardi was something different. Like see people the reason why it's funny is people are thinking like it's this Cardi who was fucking these niggas, right? Nah. This like the Cardi who was fucking these niggas, right? Was stripper Cardi. All right, was rough around the edges, extra ratchet, fucked up teeth Cardi. All right, so it's a little different. Okay, it's not the same level. All right,
so that sounds so funny. Fucked up teeth Cardi.
Teeth were fucked up. Like, and she know it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I mean, she said it herself. So why the fuck? I'm not gonna sugarcoat the shit. But
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just funny.
It's just like so I'm like for that level of type of shit for this nigga to be like, I'm gonna fuck her. that's what people keep thinking. People think it's like, oh yeah, of course they would fuck Cardi. She looks like that, whatever. I'm like, nah, all right. they chose, like, there was other bitches in that strip club. They just chose Cardi. All right, so cool, bet. Fucking went to fucking do whatever they got. And then they got their ass, pretty much. This shit, they was a lick. All right, so shit happened. Cool. Do you think now, because she is this Cardi, you said that this is gonna be over? But do you think she's going to suffer any backlash from this moving forward? Like, are people going to try to always bring this up?
Nope. It's probably just going to add to her reputation of like being a boss ass bitch. Basically, I think it's just going to be like, damn, she did whatever she had to survive to get to where she is today.
Now it's funny because that's how the video was pretty much like the video. She was like where she admitted this shit. She was crying in the video because she was talking about that she had to do that type of shit to get where she had to, like, to whatever. And I was just like, again.
I believe it. It's like when
I believe her. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, like, I believe it because the reason I don't feel bad for this guy at all is the same reason I don't feel bad for the Johns that get robbed by prostitutes. It's like, you put yourself in this situation. Like, he didn't have to go to a prostitute. If he never went to a prostitute, he would never got robbed.
But
right?
See, when you say shit, like, not just you, but when people say stuff like that, that's what makes me go, then what is the difference if, like, a aspiring model goes to weirdo photographer's room and, like, because I feel like what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That's the thing. Like,
I think the difference is the power.
Right.
It's like if a male boxer versus a female boxer, it's like, oh shit, like clearly this dude is way more power.
And that's the only difference. I don't think morally it's looked at as wrong. I think the difference is when you add a man to the equation and it's a woman. But if you add two women, it's fine. If you add two men, it's fine. If you add fucking two trannies, whatever, it's all fine. Okay?
Gets a little confusing.
It gets confusing but it's all fine. It's only when you add a man and a woman that it's like, okay, it's clearly the man's fault because he's bigger or he had to whatever. And to me, I'm like, I feel like because everything's so convoluted today and everyone's trying to jock for a position of being like the most oppressed, right? That's everyone's fucking thing. So in today's world, it's not who's popping the most. It's not who's doing the best. It's not who's most talented or whatever. It's who can be the most oppressed today
and fight through it. Who's dealing with today's mental health issues or whatever the fuck and everything like that. So if you're saying that today, I feel like eventually is because I don't think men are gonna let this stand any longer if it keeps going the way it's going, which is like women taking over, which to me is fine because I'm like girls don't hate me, so whatever, right? But of course, there's gonna be the section of men out there who's gonna be like, fuck this, all right? They can't keep there's no way. Now you saying I can't fucking ask you for sex. I can't dance on you in the club. I can't fucking harass you at work and shit. Can't do none of this shit. Now you telling me I can't even buy pussy? Nah, I'm not letting this go. All right, it's gonna be a bunch of niggas out there like that are gonna fight this shit. There are weirdos that think that way too.
I know, that's the funny part.
You telling me I can't just dance on you? Like a stranger just dance on the street? I can't just grind on you?
I can't put my dick on your butt?
What? This is ridiculous.
But you wore that for my dick to be on your butt.
Clearly.
So why
are you wearing that sign on the back of your...
So why are you...
It's the kick me sign. It's the police dance on me.
Why'd you even come if you don't want this dick on your butt?
God, guys that think that way are ridiculous. That's so narcissistic, man. That is so
but
crazy.
But you know it's
narcissistic.
Gonna happen.
Well, yeah, of course it's gonna happen. There's a whole group out there. They're like, I forgot their technical name, but they're basically guys that are virgins and they're like super old or whatever. They've never got any play at all, like not even a date. Mm-hmm. They're like grouping up.
That's sad.
Right. I've told you the story before, but there was this one guy, the part of that group. He was filming himself and basically telling a story about like he was walking down the sidewalk and he passed by this girl and the girl just simple like smile passing by somebody. Nothing, didn't mean anything. It's just like we acknowledge we see each other kind of thing. And let's not bump into each other.
It's that fucking
Reddit
Reddit story.
Yeah. So because in his head is like, oh, this person acknowledged me. What he started doing was basically he just started following her at a little bit of a distance. And the girl was like, kept turning back, like, okay, a little weird, but whatever. Like, you can walk down the same street as somebody.
Right.
But then...
Wasn't until he started full-blown sprinting.
It got to that point, like, she got to that point where, like, she
saying,
was like...
you're gonna suck it. Slow down.
Slow down.
Just suck it.
Just open the mouth.
Open the mouth a little bit.
It's not that big, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
She started getting like freaked out, so she started like walking faster. He starts walking faster. Eventually, she's running. He starts running.
Right.
She gets in his house, and the whole time he's like saying like it wasn't a sexual thing. It was just the fact that she was a female or a woman that acknowledged my existence. So I just had to like keep like looking at her and get this like this is the only thing I've ever had and shit like that. So I forgot what my point was, but
that dude's weird.
That dude's fucking creepy. So yeah, there's dudes out there like that, and they might gain traction, but no one's gonna listen to those guys. That's the thing. Like all this stuff could gain traction. All this stuff could be like it could be a conversation, but the group is so small, and the support for that group is so small.
Right.
It's just not gonna go nowhere. So it won't be a conversation by this weekend.
I feel like what's gonna happen is it won't be Cardi. She'll be fine. So that was gonna be a question. Is Cardi gonna be canceled? No. Yeah. So she'll
If
be
Daniel
fine.
Caesar could survive what he said, Cardi's not gonna be canceled on this.
Fucking shit. I'd fuck Cardi, so she ain't going nowhere. But and then you're gonna be like, God, you just made all this fucking progress. Why would you go back to being massage? I told you. I warned you. All right, I fucking
This is
warned
me
you.
asking Cardi, would you like to have sex?
I wouldn't even. I'd be like, Cardi, do you want to rape me?
Here's a machete.
Like, I mean, because I don't want to. Because it's not cheating.
It's like I can only get it up when a machete's right here to the right above the clavicle.
Imagine
It's
that's
just-
your. Oh, if I meet Cardi B anytime soon, that's gonna be my fucking way to get to her. I'm like, look. I know you can't cheat. I know you won't cheat. You're with Offset, but technically, if you rape me, I'm a bitch.
It's true.
So no one's gonna think it's cheating. Am I right or am I right? Okay. That's how I get her with the okay.
She's like,
She's ow. Ow. My girl can do that shit. Why can my girl do both them shit? My girl be raping people. Call my girl right now, live on the podcast.
That's why she wanted to borrow my machete.
Babe, you be raping people? You rape me, huh?
Just plaster her. Here's her Instagram handle. Fuck.
But she really can't do that though. That's weird. But she is Hispanic, so that makes sense. But so she won't be canceled. That's fine. What I feel like is gonna happen is eventually. So you remember the whole Alpha Dog thing, that fucking movie, right?
Yep.
So the whole like, at least in the story or whatever, the kid fell for the girl who was with the other nigga. And then she kind of liked him too. And then pretty much because he couldn't leave that girl alone, he's pretty much stuck with the fucking their bullshit ass plan until they killed him. Yeah. Right? I feel like one of these days, right, this is gonna happen. All right? Some girl is gonna line some fucking probably white athlete, some white.
Oh yeah, right.
Like,
only when it happens to white people, it becomes
watch. Yeah, watch some because pretty much this is like if you remember with the Duke lacrosse team, this is like way back in like fucking 2007, 2008, some shit like that. The black girl, there was a stripper. They hired a stripper, right? She was black. The stripper said that they raped her. Again, this is going all the way back a little bit to also using your logic about who to believe, right? Yeah. Because she was a woman and she was black, and these were like, it was a whole lacrosse team. So I don't know, fucking like 16 or 15, 16.
A Duke lacrosse team. Let's just assume they're all white.
No, they were all white. It was like 15, 16 white boys, right? Like, niggas ran with it. And they were like, oh, fuck all these boys and everything like that, or whatever. And they were like, hey, we didn't do this shit. All right? We didn't do any of this fucking shit. This and this happened. She got upset, and then she laughed, and that was it, or whatever the fuck story was, right? But they fucking, like, pronounced their innocence from day one. No one gave a fuck, right? They were going on with this shit. They was going to railroad them kids, right? It wasn't until, pretty much through, like, the little investigation or whatever, the girl eventually ended up telling the truth, which was she got upset because I think someone had said like some racial shit or whatever. She got upset and then made up the story that she had got raped and everything like that, right? So those white boys looked like, oh my God, you're safe and everything like that, right? For me, I feel like it's going to take something like that to happen, but it actually fucking happened to boys. So, however, right?
Well, yeah, it's like, let's go to like a different story where like that white dude he raped the girl right in front of like a lot of people. Like he got caught in the act, and he got like 3 months of prison.
The Stanford nigga, he didn't get 3 months. He got sentenced to fucking 3 months, but then got out like that same week.
Yeah, so he got nothing, right?
Nigga.
So until that dude that got away with it, until that type of person gets raped, like by whoever, and that person comes out, that's when it'll be an issue. That's when there'll be a discussion, a conversation, making laws and all that crap. Because that's just how America works.
That's pretty much what I'm saying. Like eventually, some white boy or whoever, I know it sucks, but some person that everyone thinks is amazing, he's gonna fucking buy pussy. He's gonna lie, say he didn't buy pussy, and he's met this girl. She's gonna fucking finesse him and whatever, and he's probably gonna end up either getting the shit beat out of him or getting killed somehow, some way, right? And then this is when this shit's gonna fucking take a turn for now men are gonna be considered when it comes to rape situations as well. And they're gonna harken back to this type of shit.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying maybe she won't get canceled, because she won't get canceled. But she will be the president for all this shit. Because they're gonna go back to people like her, since she's famous, and be like, you love Cardi B, but she did that shit. She's gonna be like, what the fuck? Like that was years ago and everything like that. But I feel like eventually, maybe within the next 5 years, I feel like it's gonna get to that point. And it's gonna be because
it's only
shit
when
like
men and women equality, like that equality shit really start. Like I'm talking about real equality, like the shit men get away with, they can no longer get away with. The shit women get away with, they can no longer get away with it. Until like that equality happens, this won't even be a discussion. So I the 5 to 6 year thing, I think that's way too soon. I think it's gonna take way longer before this type of shit actually like gets legal precedent.
I'm gonna give it 5 years just because of the fucking trajectory we're on now. Everything's outrageous to people. Everything. So I give it 5 years. Fuck it. That's my fucking Vegas bet. Y'all can time stamp this or mark it. That's what I'm saying. If it happens, we'll come back 5 years from now. I'll be like, I told you niggas. Like, but moral of the story is you ain't gonna buy no pussy. Like seriously, just because I'm just thinking like if Paige Heard was like you could fuck for give me 1,000. I might give up 1,000, bro.
You might give 1,000.
I might give up 1,000 because I'm like, wait, what's the odds that this is gonna happen again? Even though, like I told you earlier, I'm saying this is like one of those fucking variable situations he was talking about, where it's like, okay, this might holy shit, that's it. But in my for me personally, real life me, no, I'm not giving her $1,000. Because I'm like, I can fuck you. Like, if you're telling me I have to pay 1,000, then I should pay nothing.
So like the option's already on the table. I just gotta find a different route.
Exactly. That's my mind. I'm like, all right, so you're down letting me fuck you, but I don't want to pay you. So I just gotta figure out a way to make this happen without paying you. That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I guess, man.
I wouldn't enjoy it. It's just like in the back of my mind, I know like I didn't earn this.
I didn't earn it. Like, they gonna take this dick though. Look at them. They earned something. Maybe you earned nothing.
You try to trick her after you finish. You're like, all right, this is gonna be $1,000. Like for me, like, wait, no, that's. I guess we'll call it a wash then. Like we both owe each other 1,000.
Fucking bang bro style. I steal money out of her purse while I'm stroking the shit. It's like, ooh yeah, give me that.
Pay her with her own money.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Shout out to Paige Heard. I would not pay for sex with you because I feel like I could fuck you. Whatever.
This is Dwayne asking Paige Heard if you would like to have sex.
No, please these are jokes. These are jokes, all right? Don't take me serious at all. These are jokes. But if you take me serious...
It's a joke up until you start considering the option.
Then I have to talk to my girl.
I'm gonna need a quick hall pass.
I need consent. That's the whole point of this episode. Consent, guys. I need consent. Either way. Fuck.
Oh fuck.
But all right, let's get to the plugs. I love you, Cardi. Your ass look good.
It really does.
Shit.
You can find us on YouTube. How do I know
I look
you?
better than that nigga Offset. I definitely could hit. Fuck that.
But are you a thug like Offset?
Nigga,
Though? Is like
Offset would get his ass. Never mind.
he would get his ass.
Being too honest again.
You can find us easier on YouTube. #HDIKY. That's shit.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I've been into her since day one. Ever since you showed me that one song. Bodak Yellow. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Damn, she was that hot.
Saw them titties.
Ooh.
Shit.
You can find us on Instagram, HDIKY1. A picture of both of us. Right there, we actually post all of our hot takes, all of our previous hot takes, and just the trailers for new episodes.
Yes, sir.
And you can find us on Twitter. How do I know you? 1 cute little picture of Hippo. We're 1 follower away from 100. Yay! My personal one at I am Mark.
And my personal Twitter at DC Junior 13. Did we do Instagram or was I thirsting over Cardi?
You were thirsting over Cardi.
Oh, and then my Instagram at DC Junior BFSB. I just got over 100 Instagram followers. Yeah, I know I'm late to the party, but I don't care about it.
To be fair, he hardly does anything on it, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, when I post something, it means something. Like, but I'm trying to post more, guys. Fuck you guys.
Please follow. Fuck you, man.
Don't forget, I love you, but fuck you. Like, just
At the same time, it's kind of...
that could be a shirt. I love you, but fuck you. Man. Like, but anyway, as we always say, if I don't know and you don't know,
Who really knows?
how do I know you? See you guys next week. Hopefully, Paige Heard will be raping people. I'm gonna be the first victim. Let's go, Paige. Let's go.
Let's go.